Will Bitcoin hit $1 million this cycle? Okay, guys, Tariq here, and I'm here with a new video. And in this video, we're going to talk about Bitcoin price predictions because in some of the previous videos, I've been talking about kind of my thought process and my actions leading up to the Bitcoin halving coming in April 2024. And now what I want to do is I want to talk about kind of some price predictions in this current cycle that I believe could end in like summer to fall of 2025. But based on the Bitcoin ETFs and things like this cycle could actually extend a little bit further, okay? Because each previous cycle has kind of gotten longer and longer and longer because more and more people are coming into Bitcoin. So this cycle could actually run into 2026. And I believe that it is possible that Bitcoin could get close, or if not touch, some resistance at $1 million, and I'm going to share exactly why in this video. So before I get into the video, guys, if you enjoy my content, please smash the like button and subscribe if you like what I'm saying, because it really helps me out. So first off, we're entering the fourth Bitcoin halving, okay? The fourth Bitcoin, so before there's been 3 previous halvings. The block reward has started out, and the Genesis block of Bitcoin started out at 50 coins per block, then 25 coins, then 12.5 coins, and right now we're at about 6.125 coins, and that block reward is going to get reduced to around 3. And the reason why this is so important and why Bitcoin, I think, could actually approach $1 million, I know it sounds outrageous, but we just have to understand that Bitcoin is now, okay, Bitcoin, its first Genesis block, right? It was basically, the project was started in like 2009. It's approaching around 15 years old, okay? And the reason is that if I kind of look at Bitcoin as if I were looking at it like it's like a high school basketball prospect, in my opinion, okay? It would be like Bitcoin is like the LeBron James of crypto, right? And if scouts, people, very smart, talented basketball scouts, when they probably saw LeBron James playing basketball at 15, they probably said, well, this is a tall, lanky American kid. He has some potential, but will he really become anything? And we've seen Bitcoin change. So when Bitcoin first started out, it was basically an underground project. It was basically computer geeks, making this magical internet money. And then it changed, okay? After each halving cycle, Bitcoin became rarer and rarer and rarer, and it's been transitioning. So first it started out as like this magical internet money. Then it turned into kind of like a speculative asset. Then it became like a digital gold. And now, because of Wall Street, because of all of these Bitcoin ETFs being launched, it's becoming an investment grade asset, okay? So when you have an investment grade asset, that kind of makes Bitcoin is like, I like to think of Bitcoin as like real estate in cyberspace, okay? There's 21 million, coins, or you could say 21 million plots of land, or 21 million houses in cyberspace. And that's, I don't know if you guys, where you guys are from, but I'm an American. And when I was a kid, if you had like $1 million house, your house was like really big and really luxurious. But because of hyperinflation of the US dollar and all of these currencies all over the world, all these fiat currencies, just a normal size house where I was growing up maybe would have cost like, $100,000, $200,000. I'm 37 years old, by the way. So I was born in the 80s, okay, born in 1986. And when I was a kid, to me, $1 million house was huge. But now we're seeing just normal sized average houses, I would say, good quality houses in America are now selling over $1 million, okay? And why is that? Because at the end of the day, the fiat currency lost so much value that it just became, these homes just became priced higher. And that's exactly what we're seeing with Bitcoin, okay? If you take a look at Bitcoin versus USD, over time, Bitcoin started out at 10 cents, then $1, then $10, then $1,000, then $10,000, and now it's approaching $100,000. So it keeps adding zeros because over time, 1 Bitcoin used to be $1 US. And I want you guys to really visualize this, okay? 1 Bitcoin used to equal $1 US. But over time, it just took more and more and more and more dollars to equal 1 Bitcoin. So for me, it's inevitable that Bitcoin will trade at $1 million in the future. And the reason why I think it could actually potentially happen this cycle is because there are a bunch of catalysts I want to talk about in this video. So let's get right into it. The number one catalyst is the Bitcoin ETFs. Okay, so we have to understand that when Bitcoin hit its previous all-time high in the last bull run, there was very little involvement from Wall Street, okay? You've got trillions of dollars from investment, managers, okay, hedge funds, right? Venture capitalists, okay, endowments, right? college endowments, pension funds, okay? Baby boomers that made a ton of money during their working years. They've got 401ks, IRAs, right? Traditional brokerage accounts. They have all of this money sitting in these accounts. And then with the interest rates, okay, Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, he just announced that we're probably going to have something like 3 rate cuts. Where is this money going to end up? So anyone with a brain that's compared the performance of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies versus, traditional safe S&P 500 index funds, Bitcoin has always outperformed these assets. Okay, Bitcoin is something crazy like a 10-year compound annual growth rate of 60%. In S&P 500 or a regular index fund, it's like 10 to 12%. So when the interest rates decrease and all of these people, a lot of these older investors, a lot of these older retirees with a lot of money realize that, hey, I'm just going to make more money with my retirement accounts. I'm going to preserve more of my wealth by holding Bitcoin and things like that versus, Nvidia stock or Google stock or any S&P 500 index fund. That's going to make Bitcoin's price go up. So that's the first catalyst, these Bitcoin ETFs. And with these Bitcoin ETFs, it's so much easier for a lot of these organizations and individuals to just buy Bitcoin. They don't have to store it in custody on Coinbase. They don't have to store it on Binance or anything like that. They can just push a button on their phone, buy ETF, boom, I'm into Bitcoin. And these Bitcoin ETFs are run by these institutional companies. They take custody of the Bitcoin themselves and then they charge the fee. So that's the first catalyst. The second catalyst is the halving, okay? This is cutting down the Bitcoin block reward per day from 900 to 450. Only 450 Bitcoin will be released every day. That is such a tiny amount if you consider that there are 8 billion people and the population is growing on Earth that may at one time either hear about Bitcoin or want some exposure to Bitcoin. So this makes Bitcoin a very, very finite asset, only 21 million coins ever produced, and only 450 being released every day. To me, this sounds like $1 million asset. And then the third major catalyst that I think a lot of people are missing is that, like I said, Bitcoin is like digital real estate in cyberspace. In the future, and this could happen within the next 2 or 3 years, owning one Bitcoin will be a complete status symbol. And the only way it can be a status symbol is simply if Bitcoin reaches $1 million in price. Now, this is really, I know it's really hard for a lot of you guys watching this to wrap your minds around. How is that possible? I mean, how could this, cryptocurrency that started out, as some side project by some anonymous, guy named Satoshi Nakamoto, how could it reach $1 million? And it's simply because it is seen as an asset for the rich and the wealthy. When Bitcoin becomes a status symbol, just like having a mansion in Beverly Hills, just like owning a beautiful penthouse condo in Manhattan, just like owning a beautiful villa in somewhere like, Barcelona, Spain, or, Shanghai, Bitcoin becomes a status symbol, price go up, Bitcoin's worth over $1 million. And this is something that you're not going to see on charts, okay? This is something that you need to really conceptualize and think about. Why would Wall Street and all of these wealthy people who already have made a fortune, okay? There's people out here, they're already multimillionaires, they're already billionaires. Why would they end up buying Bitcoin, okay? Let's be honest, guys. Most of the guys in crypto, like me, you guys watching this, you're not multimillionaires, you're not a billionaire, okay? You're buying crypto because inflation is out of control. You want to preserve some of your wealth. You want to retire with dignity. Why are these guys, they're already rich? They don't have, if you're already rich, you don't need Bitcoin, okay? You could just put your money in something like a CD or a high yield savings account, and yeah, you're going to lose via inflation, but you're still rich. They're buying it because it's a status symbol. They want to be able to brag to their rich friends. I have 1 Bitcoin. I have 10 Bitcoin. I have whatever. Just like if you're rich and you already own a nice house, why are you buying an expensive condo in Manhattan? It's a status symbol. So when that happens, that's when Bitcoin will really touch $1 million. And that's when the price will be out of reach for most people. And we'll start denominating things not in Bitcoin, but in terms of Satoshis, because the price will just be so high. So like I said, this is a really important thing for you guys to understand. It took me a really long time to grasp my mind around this. And even though we're going to see some ebbs and flows in the market, Bitcoin could hit $1 million as soon as 2026. So I don't know if the price is going to stay there. Historically, the crypto markets have dumped, during the bear market. But if we see $1 million in Bitcoin, make sure you guys get at least zero point 0.1 Bitcoin. Make sure you guys get at least 10 million Satoshis so that if Bitcoin does hit $1 million, you have at least 100K, because you need to make your first 100K to really build wealth and secure a future for your family. Once you make the first 100K, the second, the third, the fourth, your first million, and things like that will come much easier. But get that first 100K under your belt to build some momentum, build some confidence. And I believe that a lot of you guys can do that if you get at least zero point 0.1 Bitcoin. As of recording this video, it costs you about 6,600 US dollars to achieve that. Don't miss out on this opportunity to build generational wealth. Don't miss out on this opportunity to retire early. Don't have regrets, okay? Take action with this. I've been talking to dozens of you guys from all over the world, and some of my clients, most of my clients are in Europe and, the United States, of course, because I'm American. And like, so a lot of you guys have taken action, but a lot of you haven't. Listen, the halving is just like 28 days away as of recording this video. Please, guys, take action on this. Investing at least $6,600 into Bitcoin. If you need to work in a second job, if you need to borrow money from your parents, if you need to, use credit cards, do whatever it takes. You can get at least 0.01 Bitcoin so you can become a part of this financial revolution. And if I'm right, you can make a lot of money in the process too. So everyone wins. So like I said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please smash the subscribe button for more videos like this. And that's all I got until now, guys. Take care.